Hello all. I'm making just a quick video, short video here for Bubba. Bubba the third-eyed blind Triclops. And if you haven't checked him out, I'm going to link him below. Make sure you give him a quick look and a sub if you haven't already. He's a good guy. A lot of fun. He's been making some good videos and making us laugh. So he had sent me a text last night asking me what I thought about, my experience so far reloading. I'm still fairly new to it. And what did I think would be a good setup to start with. And well, let me show you what I've got. What I started with, which I don't recommend, was the Lee hand press. It's a great little press. It's a lot of fun, works great. I know James Pugh and I both love ours, but maybe not a starter. This would be, something I probably should have picked up later. Although it works well, it's a whole lot easier to have both hands available when you're doing stuff than to be tied up with one press. So my suggestion was, the second step I went to was a Lee single stage press, and there's a couple different kinds depending on your budget, depending on your space, but this was the one that I went with, and mount it to something good and solid so you get good leverage, because when you're doing some of your case forming, it's going to be important to have a good solid base. I thought I would get in a little bit closer here, just so you can see stuff a little bit better. But yeah, single stage press. You're going to put your dies in one at a time, do each process, use your loading trays. This die that's in here right now is a universal decapper. Watched a couple of people, got convinced that, yeah, I needed one of these. Got one and loved it, works great. I pretty much within a couple, not even 200 rounds, I bent one of the pins and busted it. So on Jamie's suggestion, I got some of the Squirrel Daddy pins, and it seems to be good. I haven't used it yet, but that's the press that I would recommend, a single stage to start with and a good place to mount it solid. Now, I've since sort of upgraded to a turret press, and that's a whole different animal, and it's working great. I'm loving it, but that's not, I don't know if I would start with that. I would probably prefer to start with the single stage. Now, there were a couple other things that I recommended. Get a set of dies, and question was, what caliber would be a good one to start with, and it's not what I started with, but it's something that I would recommend, and it was 38 special. Seems to be, a pretty good one. I've loaded quite a few now and had real good success, good results. You can load it with factory bullets, you can load it with cast bullets that you can buy, or if you get into casting, you can load with cast bullets. I recommended some loading trays because, especially with the single stage, you need to have somewhere to put them as you're doing each step. The priming, the charging, then loading bullets in, just in case. And I didn't recommend this at first, but I'm going to recommend it now. Just in case you have some mistakes or you load some stuff and you find out it doesn't work so well, you want a bullet puller so that you can break down rounds that you don't want to use, that you don't want to fire. Get yourself some reloading manuals, and I'm just sort of picking books up as I go along and just adding them to the collection, because it never hurts to have a little bit of extra data. And my plans are that as I see stuff at swap meets and yard sales, I'm going to grab that stuff too. Now let me turn over toward the other bench so I can show some things I didn't want to move around. Other things that I had recommended was a balance scale, and I did get a digital, and I've used it. They don't always match up for me perfectly, and as far as like trickling powder, this doesn't seem to work very well. It doesn't like when you're adding to it. It seems to want to weigh something, and that's it. So trickling, when I talk about that, get yourself a trickler. You put your powder into the trickler, and as you turn the little stick, it trickles powder in, and you can get your measured charge that you want. And then I recommend getting a funnel. That's what fits over the top of the casing. You can pour your powder in, that way you're not spilling it around. Something I forgot to mention is you want to get a good set of calipers, and I've sort of gotten used to just using the digitals, and I'm trying to learn how to use the analog because, well, batteries die. Another thing that I didn't recommend in the text was a primer tray. These things are awesome. They do this cute little witchcraft where you put the primers in there, give them a shake, and they roll them over to where you want them. And you know, that's just some of the basic stuff that I would recommend starting with. And you know, do a lot of reading, watch a lot of videos, start hanging out with the Georgia Shooting Connection on Friday nights, and well, there's plenty of resources there, and there's not a single person that wouldn't help you out if they could. So I hope that helps you out, Bubba, and hope that helps out anybody else that's thinking about getting into this. There are some other things that you want to get eventually, and you know, some stuff comes with some of the die sets, like case lube. You're going to need that eventually. Powder and primers, that's a whole other thing to start to explore, and I wouldn't even begin to get into that on a video like this, just, you know, describing what you might want to pick up. As far as what you'll spend to do it, that just depends on where you buy it, whether it's used or brand new, if you can get stuff on sale. So you know, just keep an eye out for that. And even if you see stuff that you think you might be able to use, go ahead and pick it up, because you can always you know, maybe even trade it later with somebody else. So hope that helps. Take care. Have a good weekend.